So today I want to show you guys how to find the midpoint of a segment in the coordinate plane. This is actually a two-part lesson. We're going to spend today and tomorrow on it. Today we'll be doing the first one here, finding the midpoint of a segment, and then the second half of it we'll save for tomorrow. It's a little bit longer lesson, so I don't want to kind of overwhelm you on the first day. So first things first, most of this you can ignore. That's the good thing. The idea is we've got, in the coordinate plane, we've got a point that's been graphed, another point that's been graphed, and the segment that joins the two of them. What we're going to try and calculate is the point that is in the exact middle. Now that's just a real quick sketch. I didn't do it real precisely, but mathematically we can figure this out exactly where is the point that's in the middle. And it's a pretty straightforward concept if you forget all of this junk. The idea is real simple from grade school, honestly. If you had two numbers, say 2 and 8, and I wanted to figure out what number was exactly in the middle, there's two ways you could go about it. You could list out all of the numbers between 2 and 8, and then look for the one that's exactly in the middle. Or an easier way to do it would be to find the average. An average of a set of numbers, or an average of two numbers specifically, is the number that's exactly in the middle. So what I could have done to make this a little bit easier was to just take my beginning number and my end number, add those together, and then you divide by 2. That's what all of this gobbledygook down here in this formula is trying to say. But simply put, you add your numbers together and divide by 2. Where it gets complicated looking is because we've overlaid this on the coordinate plane and I've got this big two-dimensional space. But if you pay attention to the numbers instead of the picture, it's a little bit simpler. So what I'm looking for is a point. So I'm going to have an XY ordered pair. Well, this first number in the pair is the average of the first numbers in each of the original pairs. And my second number, my y coordinate, is going to be the average of my y coordinates. So basically, I'm going to add up my first two numbers and divide by 2. So that's going to give me -7 plus 4, and then divide that by 2. Well, -7 plus 4, that's -3, divided by 2 is -1.5. Now, with the midpoint, since you're dividing, you will get decimals pretty frequently, but it's not one that I'm actually going to ask you to graph. So getting a fraction or a decimal as a point isn't really as big a deal as it seems like. On the other hand, excuse me, I'm going to average my y coordinates. 6 plus -6. Add them up, divide by 2. Well, 6 plus -6 is 0. Divided by 2 is 0. The point -50 is exactly halfway between -7, 6 and 4, -6. So -1.5, 0 would be right there. Now just kind of eyeballing it, it looks like it's in the middle, but mathematically, I've shown that it's in the middle. Add up your x's, divide by 2. Add up your y's, divide by 2. Okay, you can even do these without a graph, which is what you're going to be doing on your homework. I'm not going to give you a whole bunch of graphs and ask you to do this. It's just simply, here are the points, tell me what's in between them. So on each of these, add up your x, so 8 plus -9, and then divide by 2. That is -0.5. And then I'm going to add up my y's, which is 4 plus 8. That's 12. So when I divide it by 2, is 6. Add them up, divide by 2. The most common mistake I see is people adding up the x and y in the same point together. It's the x from one and the x from the other. If you're savvy with your addition, your arithmetic, your integer arithmetic, you can do these in your head. 5 plus 3, that's 8. What's 8 divided by 2? That's 4. What's 8 plus negative 8? That's 0. 0 divided by 2 is 0. But if you're not that great with integer arithmetic, grab your calculator. Add these up. Negative 8 plus negative 2. My only word of caution is if you're using a calculator, negative 8 plus negative 2, hit equals before you divide it by 2. If you don't hit that equals button before you hit divided by 2, you will miscalculate these. So negative 8 plus negative 2 is negative 10 divided by 2. My x-coordinate's negative 5. Negative 4 plus negative 9 divided by 2. That's negative 13 divided by 2. Negative 6.5. Okay, last one. Again, try it in your head if you want. 7 plus negative 3, that's 4. 4 divided by 2. My x-coordinate's 2. Negative 10 plus negative 3, that's negative 13. Divided by 2 is negative 6.5. Add them up, divide by 2. Stay organized, and these aren't that bad.